First, Aldridge comes in second for the men's upper extremity. The women's division coming up now here for event number 2. And again, 3 divisions here. There are 8 divisions total in the open when it came to the adaptive divisions. 3 of them here competing for you at the CrossFit Games here in 2021. Back to the event description. We have changed the weights a little bit here for the ladies. 205 pounds for the lower, 55 pounds on the upper extremity, and then 175 pounds for the neuromuscular. Tanya, at the end of the day, though, it's still a lot of work, and it fun. Depends on your perspective.
This is good. This little sprint couplet really is all about pulling and just testing the capacity of their pulling ability, that strength and that endurance that they have.
Lane assignments here in event number 2 for the women. Let's start with the women's lower extremity. Amy Bream in the middle is a kickboxer. She has one leg. Found CrossFit actually because of the adaptive divisions. Just started CrossFit in January. She is now here. Upper extremity, Elizabeth Bride was the event 1 winner. Played field hockey at Hamilton College in New York. And Rebecca Shingledecker here for the women in neuromuscular is a marathon runner. She has run 14 more than me. 5 seconds until the beginning of event number 2 here for the women in the adaptive division. And we are underway for this sprint couplet here at the 2021 Nobel CrossFit Games.
For these rope climbs, the ladies will be climbing up to that 20-foot height. I apologize, up to the 15-foot height there for these athletes.
20 feet to the top of Zeus. You'll see a tape mark as these athletes climb the rope. That's the 15-foot mark that they have to climb up to hit here now 30 seconds in.
2 different strategies on the barbell, going on broken on the left, and then there was breaking up. You know, it's a smart move to break up early if you know that fatigue will set in, and these athletes have to attack it the way they are best able to, and there's a lot of pulling. You want to make sure you get back to that rope, and when you commit to it, that your grip is going to be there, and you don't have too much fatigue.
That's where I was just going to take you. Is this a grippy workout?
100%, you know, and that's the thing. You can get caught up in those nerves, being side by side. You're on the competition floor, the main floor. So it's really easy to forget that you need to break that up. And in any 5-round event or workout that you do at the gym, you know, round 3 is the test. Did you hold on too much? Did you push too hard early? So I think it's smart when you see athletes that have that wherewithal to pause and drop the barbell early. They know their abilities, and they know what they have to do to be successful on the rope.
Valerie Cohen was the winner of event number 1 for the lower extremity athletes here. Spent 3 years as a collegiate gymnast, tore her Achilles for the 2nd time at the end of her career, and a post-operation infection actually led to an emergency surgery. It kept her from walking for 2 years. Here she is with an event win and a heat lead right now, 1 minute and 45 seconds in.
And we have that in the adaptive divisions. You're going to have athletes that were born with some limitations, and then you're going to have other athletes that have had injury. And for someone, you know, that has been on the competitive floor and then an injury happens, it's awesome to know that you can get back out there and there is a place for you to compete again at a high level and be able to showcase all that you're still able to do.
That's the thing that so many of these athletes have talked about, is being able to push through that initial roadblock. You know, in Valerie's case in particular, you're a captain of your college gymnastics team competing at such a high level, and being able to push through and say, I can still do everything I've ever done before, and now do it on the stage that we're all so used to looking at here at the CrossFit Games. Elizabeth Bride is on the left. She won event number 1 for the upper extremity athletes. Also a collegiate athlete, played field hockey at Hamilton College in Clinton, New York. Now hails from just outside Boston. About midway through this workout, that is a 55-pound single arm, no alternating dumbbell snatch. That's a heavy weight under any circumstance.
It sure is, and you know, under the fatigue of that, just being able to use that one arm, especially if you have the capacity to use them both, typically you probably would be practicing that alternating, so that is a lot of demand. constantly, and that will be, it obviously will affect when you get to that rope, your grip, and that attacks on that one side.
It is Valerie Cohen from the lower extremity division who has to go just a little bit further. She crossed the first line and now the finish line. So Valerie Cohen is victorious in under 3 minutes and 30 seconds, her second event win in as many tries. So there's your leader right now with 200 points. The points table goes from 100 down to 15 for a first through fifth place finish. These are three separate competitions that you're looking at, all happening at the same time between the upper, lower, and neuromuscular divisions. And back to the Zeus here for another rope climb as Bride was finishing with her snatches.
We talked about, these lanes being tight. We talked off air about, they're side by side. So it is awesome when you're competing right next to someone and they're staying with you. It really does give you the push and that competitive feel of, the pressure to move on. Especially after the year that many of us have had. It's true.
And quite literally in this division, you haven't competed in a live setting before. Everything has been online in terms of qualification. So the chance to come out here on the competition floor and throw down. This is Sabrina Lopez on these single-arm 55-pound dumbbell snatches. And as this event continues to wear on, Tanya, you saw athletes go unbroken in round one. It gets grippy.
And the fatigue, it sets in. You see some rounding here of her back. She's not loading the legs as much as she could. But, last reps, it's about speed and just getting the dumbbell overhead, finishing your reps you can sprint through.
All the way from Bern, Switzerland, Sabrina Lopez has finished event 2 with a minute to go. Ebby Isbell out of New Braunfels, Texas, and Shannon Ogar now finishing down in the neuromuscular division from Englewood, Colorado, with 5:20 left to go. There's your marathoner we touched on beforehand, Rebecca Shingeldecker. Inside 30 seconds left to go here in the event. And we still have 3 athletes out on the floor currently engaged in deadlifting. Keep in mind, you're deadlifting on the turf, so you don't necessarily have that firm surface below you.
A little bit different, but I love that we're seeing the athletes on the field. In years past, we saw age group divisions be in their own separate locations. So just the energy and the crowd and the fans behind them out in the main stands, it's a really cool energy for everyone to be out here.
Event number 2 in the books for the adaptive athletes here at North Park.